Hello, hello. Good evening mga ka-privacy. Welcome back to another episode ng Privacy in the Spotlight. Alam namin meron kayong mga question regarding sa mga bago naming issuances, lalo na yung sa mga body-worn camera. So pag-uusapan natin yan ngayon with our DPC Jose Bellarmino.
The second. Wala pa pong the third. The second lang.
Good evening po, DPC.
Good evening,
Kamusta
Lauren.
po kayo?
Ako ay mabuti naman. Very excited to be here. Congratulations of course, sa NPC sa PIAD for the award for Privacy in the Spotlight. And thank you for having me. And thank you to be able to share, some insights, info sa ating mga viewers.
And welcome back.
Yes.
Saan
It's
po ba
been
kayo nanggaling?
5 months. Well, so before coming back to the commission, I was with Marriott International. So I was based in Ireland and London. So I was there for...
It's a London boy.
Yeah, I was a London boy for many years. So after my Chevening scholarship, I did that role. So I was out of the country for about 4 years.
So
4 or 5
kakabalik
years.
lang po ba? And with the masters, another feather?
Yeah, kakabalik ko lang. It's been, I think, 5 months since I took the role as Deputy Commissioner. I finished my Master of Science in Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics. Hindi siya LLM, it's not Master of Laws. Kasi gusto kong malaman kung ano yung technical side na nangyayari sa breach. Feeling ko dati, pwede lang sabihin sa akin ng tech person na ganito yung nangyari. Pero hindi ko naman alam kung totoo, di ba?
So ngayon alam mo na rin inside out.
I mean, I could say, I'm more knowledgeable about the technical aspect of, let's say, a breach or a hacking. So, kasi nag-hack kami. Like, we had to do ethical hacking and kung ano-ano pang ginagawa ng ating mga IT person sa NPC. So, yun. Di na nila ako maloloko.
Huwag tayo magpapaloko.
Correct.
Pero for those po na medyo flashback lang, no? Si DPC kasi before is our OICED.
Yes.
Executive Director na din ng NPC. From anong year po yung
So,
DPC?
tama ka Roren, no? I was OICED before I left. But prior to that, I was Head Executive Assistant ni Commissioner Liboro. And then I was delegated or appointed, I don't know how you call it, as OICED from 2019, I think, to 2020. Tapos, I left the commission.
Yeah. So dahil po may background ka na sa privacy and now you have your masters in cybersecurity. So what's the difference first nung privacy at cybersecurity?
Well, security, you can never have privacy without security. You can have privacy without security, but you can have security without privacy, but you can never have privacy without security. Kasi sa privacy, you have to make sure that the data are secured, whether that's physical or it's an online data. You have to make sure it's secured. So, very different yung perspective after doing my master's, but also after doing a job sa private sector. Kasi nung nandito ako ng 2018 to 2020,
it's the point of view of a regulator.
Yes, so it was just more of like, this is the law, these are our circulars. Gawin mo to, ipatupad mo. And then coming into the private sector, syempre medyo marirealize mo may challenges pala on how to do it.
Shocks ako na yung magpapatupad.
Exactly, tama. So, medyo doon mo marirealize how you also balance the goal of the business, but also to make sure you comply with the regulations, including data privacy. So, I'm coming back to the commission with a very different perspective as well.
Yes. So, going back po sa sinabi ninyo na there is no privacy without security, pero merong security without privacy. And isang example, I think, na meron tayo nun is CCTV. Diba? CCTV is part of security, pero pag naabuso siya, it can violate also privacy of an individual. Yeah. So yung meron kasi kaming mga FAQs dito, which puro siya CCTV yung question, no? So, pakisagot na lang.
Ito ba ang mga panawagan ng ating publiko?
Ang daming panawagan regarding po sa CCTV. Legit po na nakaka-receive kami, I think, 5 questions a day related sa CCTV kasi parang ang daming scenarios
Right.
na inaano. So, here, isa po, no?
Okay.
First, pwede
Kinakabahan ako.
Oh my God. Kaya mo po ito. Pwede po bang mag-request ang data subject na mag-view at makahingi ng footage kung saan nakuhaan siya ng CCTV?
Yes. Yes. Under
So,
our...
pwede yun, ah?
Pwede yun. If ikaw yung nakuhaan ng CCTV, you're a data subject. Meaning to say, nakuha yung personal data mo. Why? Because ang mukha ng tao, whether pinicturan mo o vinidyohan mo, that's your personal data, personal information. So, if pre-process yung personal info mo, mean to say, kinuhaan by the CCTV, may kalakip na yung right. Mean to say, may right na yung data subject to request certain information. So, in this case, ang pwede mong i-request is, ang right na pwede mong gamitin is yung right to access. Or right to copy yung personal info. Mean to say, gusto mong makita kung ano yung nandun sa CCTV footage. Halimbawa, na buhusan ka ng tubig or nadulas ka, no? So, gusto mong makita ano ba yung naging cause. So, pwede kang mag-request before the personal information controller. Of course, syempre, if you do that, hindi naman sasabihin mo lang na gusto kong makita yung CCTV ng ganitong araw. You have to make sure na ipoprovide mo yung time, yung date, na nangyari yung incident or reason kung bakit mo hinihingi yung taong involved. Kailangan mo syempre pakita rin yung prove your identity na ikaw yung taong involved doon. Or if you're going to request on behalf of someone else, you have to make sure na you're authorized. Kasi remember, may transmissibility of rights din sa Data Privacy Act. Pwedeng yung minor or incapacitated yung involved na kailangan mong kunin yung copy ng CCTV. So, definitely the answer is yes.
Yes. Pero may limitation siya. So, paano po DPC? Like, for example, kasi I think there was a phone question before na ang problem niya is nawala yung bag niya doon sa isang bank. So, naiwan niya yung bag niya sa bank. So, gusto niyang i-check kung may nakakuha, naiwan, or anything. So, paano po ba mag-request? Dapat yung time lang na yon at date? And what if meron pong mga tao or individual na ibang customers, ibang clients, can i-blur ba? Ano po ba dapat gawin?
So, good question, no? Very good question. So, sa circular natin on CCTV, sinasabi doon na ang mga personal information controllers, tulad ng bangko sa example mo, no, sa question, dapat nagpo-provide sila ng guidelines on how data subjects can make a request. For example, a data subject access request. So, either meron silang template na isasubmit mo or you send it to a particular individual, usually the data protection officer. Kung meron silang pre-prescribed na form or wala, depende na yun sa personal information controller.
Depende na yun sa company.
Yes, sa company. But what I'm trying to say, kailangan meron silang guidelines on how a data subject can make a request. Doon sa pangalawang tanong, ano ba yung mga dapat na gagawin or ilalagay nung magre-request? Of course, depende yan kung may prescribed form and may pre-determined questions. Kung wala, ang pinaka-essential is, of course, your name, your identity. You have to include ano yung nangyari and why are you requesting access to that footage. Kailangan nandoon yung time frame. Kung kaya mong ibigay yung time frame, no? Or kung kaya mong ibigay yung date kung kailan nangyari. Because hindi naman po pwede na magre-request ka ng buong kopya or i-access mo yung buong...
So, hindi po pwede yung buong araw na
yung
yun?
Buong araw, yung buong footage. Of course, you know, as an individual, alam mo kung kailan ka nandoon, alam mo kung kailan ka pumunta sa bangko, alam mo kung kailan ka na, kung kailan mo naiwan yung gamit, no? So, ilagay mo rin yung timestamp or yung period na kailan nangyari. And of course, pinaka-importante, if merong involved na individuals na hindi naman related sa'yo, no? They have to blur. Pagka, let's say, nahanap na yung footage, na-determine na yung footage, na nandoon, tapos may involved na individuals, they have to blur the other individuals na hindi part ng request.
Okay.
Kasi po pwedeng sa sitwasyon na yan, merong ang umupo pala doon sa kung nasaan yung bag mga ibang kliyente. Hindi naman nila alam na bibigyan mo ng copy yung tao ng footage nila, no? So, unless makakuha yung bangko ng consent ng mga yon, the bank would have to blur the faces of third parties na nandoon sa footage.
So, what if DPC may dumampot? This is just a scenario. What if may dumampot ng bag na naiwan mo? So, pag nag-request
Ibang usapan yun.
ba?
Hindi mo pwedeng i-blur yun kasi
Okay.
that will defeat the purpose of kung bakit mo nga gustong makuha yung footage. Of course, you want to identify the person na kumuha. So, in that scenario, the company, the PIC, shouldn't blur the photo of that person who took the bag. Kasi nga, ang rason mo kung ba't mo ini-request, gusto mong malaman para kung, syempre hindi natin alam kung kinuha ba to dahil gusto niyang nakawin or kinuha to out of concern to be able to return the bag. So, depende rin sa situation, no? But nevertheless, dapat hindi mo i-blur yung mukha nung nakakuha. How would the data subject, the owner of the bag, be able to identify yung nakakuha nung
ng
naiwan
bag.
niyang bag.
So at least clear na po yun kasi it's a very long time na ongoing question na parang sino ba dapat i-blur, pwede bang i-blur, pwede bang ibigay. So at
ang
least klaro yun.
i-blur mo is yung mga walang pakialam sa nangyari, sa sitwasyon.
Okay.
Oo, pero yung kumuha, kailangan natin ma-identify. But also, Roren, I wanna say sa ating viewers, kapag ikaw yung data subject na nabigyan ng copy nung footage na yon, hindi mo po pwedeng basta i-upload yun o kung saan mo gagawin. Gagamitin mo lang yun for your declared purpose. Meaning to say, gusto mo mag-file ng police report, gusto mong gamitin as ebidensya. Hindi ba pwedeng ipopost mo siya sa Facebook tapos sasabihin mo sino po bang nakakakilala dito at tulungan nyo ako. Hindi po pwede yun. That would be a violation na nung data subject right ng taong na kumuha ng bag. Ibang usapan yun, ha?
So, for example, hindi to bangko. Meron na siya talaga CCTV and it's a parking area. Kasi meron akong nakita. It's a friend na nag-post.
Friend o baka ikaw to?
No. Hindi ako yun.
Okay.
Hindi ako yung nangupit.
Hindi ko yung nangupit. Hindi, yung nakakita. Yung nakakita. Okay.
So, it's a parking lot. Tapos may CCTV. Nakita na binasag yung window, yung
windshield or yung bitana.
And then kinuha yung bag sa loob ng car. So, pwede ko ba, hindi yun talaga pwedeng i-post, pero nakakakita kasi kami. So, parang awareness, I think, the goal of yung friend ko na yun is to spread awareness na mag-iingat kayo kahit sa parking lot. Huwag
Well, you can always post, but of course, if you really want to raise awareness, meaning to say, nangyayari to sa parking lot na to. Dalawa kasi yan nangyayari to sa parking lot na to, or do you wanna raise awareness that this particular person has been committing this crime. So kung ang goal mo lang talaga, and I think the goal must be to raise awareness, you have to blur the face of the person. Kung gagamitin mo siya as ebidensya, hindi naman korte ang Facebook Hindi naman police ang Facebook You have to submit it to the police in the proper forum. Kasi otherwise, well, of course, mali naman yung nagnakaw, no? Pero hindi naman dahil nag-commit siya ng isang crime, nadadivest na siya o nawawala na yung privacy right niya under the law. So, well, kung gusto naman ng friend mo na i-risk yung chance na baka makasuhan siya under data privacy, wala rin namang problema. But I think sa ating mga Pilipino, we always think na it's okay to post everything. But dapat hindi na ganun We have to have a change of mindset. Pag magpo-post ka, okay lang yung sa sarili mo walang problema yon. That's yours. But if you're going to post something that involves someone else's personal information, dapat medyo maingat tayo doon. For whatever purpose it may be. Ang TV nga, ang mga reporters, pag nagre-report sila ng nagnakaw o akusado, they blur the face now.
Kasi akusado pa lang
Kasi
to.
wala pa namang wala pa namang napapatunayan. But also remember, if a person is accused of something, whether accused or convicted, that's considered a sensitive personal information. Meaning to say, mas mataas ang sinasabi ng Data Privacy Act na responsibilidad sa isang controller. Controller, hindi lang kumpanya yun na lahat tayo pwedeng controller kasi nagpo-proseso tayo ng datos, no? We have to be mindful and we have to be more circumspect in terms of kung dapat ba natin itong i-post, kanino yung dapat na tamang recipient ng footage na to, and so on and so forth.
Okay. So, DPC, may isang question naman dito.
Napagod ako doon? Ang haba nung sinabi ko.
Okay lang yan, kasi maraming natutunan. Pero ito naman tayo. Mapunta tayo sa isang call center agent. So, the question is, meron po kasing in-install na CCTV camera directly above my cubicle. So,
Kita
tatanong
siya? Kita yung mukha niya? O kita lang yung kamay niya?
Well, directly above. So,
okay.
Kung gumanon siya
Sige, mag-imagine tayo kung anong ano. Anyway, sorry, continue
So,
with the question.
Directly above ng kanyang cubicle. So, kita yung ginagawa niya.
So, yung buong okay.
Face. So, nagtatanong siya if hindi ba na-violate yung karapatan niya dahil minomonitor yung bawat kilos niya. So, dito na naman pa rin papasok yung security and monitoring naman ng employees.
That's actually very good question, no? Sa workplace kasi, hindi naman pinagbabawal na may CCTV. Kasi yung mga employer natin, ang kadahilanan nila is they wanna make sure na secured yung work nila, yung empleyado nila secured, and also they know kung sino lang yung pumapasok at lumalabas sa opisina. Sa call center kasi medyo it's of a different environment. Meaning to say, and I would assume na yung call center agent na to at saka yung call center company na to, they take sensitive information or highly confidential information such as credit card numbers, billings, and whatever other forms of information. I mean to say, data heavy sila. So, I know that call centers have policies na hindi mo pwedeng isulat yung mga information na yun. Kasi pwedeng ang mangyari, si call center, isulat niya yun, gamitin niya for personal benefit niya. And I think that's the reason why this particular company installed yung CCTV. To monitor, to make sure that, of course, that they're working, and also to make sure na they don't take down information and take it with them and use it. Or po pwedeng to make sure na walang dalang cellphone yung call center agent sa floor na pwedeng gamitin to take down information ng mga customers
yung mga clients
mga clients. And then gagamitin ng call center agent for personal benefit. Because this has happened before.
Totoo naman yun.
Yes.
Nangyayari. Well, I've heard stories from friends. Friends na naman.
Yeah, friends mo. Dahil mong friends,
Dami kong friends.
No, but also, Rorin, this has happened and we've received, I think, when I was here with the commission back in 2019, this was already something na nangyari. May naging case na ganun. So, that must be the reason why the call center company installed that. And I couldn't say that's wrong or right because hindi ko naman nakita kung ano yung privacy policy nila, ano yung PIAs nila, ano yung legal basis nila, no? Ang pwedeng gawin ni employee is to ask kung meron bang, ano yung policy nyo, ano yung privacy, bakit ganito yung privacy practices. And the company should be able to answer that. Hindi niya dapat i-castigate yung empleyado dahil nagtatanong yung empleyado. Because as an employee, you're also concerned, lahat ba ng ano mo, what if you have to do something very personal na regarding your body na makikita ba yon. And also, you have to ask, gaano katagal mini-maintain yun ng company? What do they do with that footage after a certain period? So these are the right questions that the employee must ask before the employer.
And all of this included sa right to be informed.
Yes.
Diba? So, dun po sa ating mga data subjects, sa ating mga ka-privacy, lahat po tayo may right to be informed.
Correct.
So, pwede pong magtanong. Hindi lang po yan cliche na
Yes.
pwede po talagang magtanong.
Yes. Tama, very good point, Rorin, no? Regardless if ikaw ay employee or ikaw ay customer ng isang company, lahat tayo merong right to be informed. So as an employee, you can ask your company. And to be fair, the company must have informed the employee ahead of time. In-explain sa kanila yan kung bakit ganito. And I'm sure they might have even asked for the consent of the employee or either consent kasi or legitimate interest yung gagamitin mo doon eh.
Regardless, dapat may privacy notice.
Yes. I think, hindi ko alam kung pinasok nila sa employment contract, but that's not a strong argument when it comes to that processing. So, again, depende nga sa legal basis nila. And of course, dapat hindi sobrang intrusive. Kaya nga tinatanong ko kanina, ano ba yung kita? Pwede bang yung hands lang, yung area kung saan nandun yung kamay? Kasi that's where you know, write? Or buong face mo ba, katawan? So, paano pag babae? Paano pag medyo revealing yung ano niya? So, you know, these are the considerations that the company should also take into account. And the employee must ask the company.
So, wag siguro natatakot lang din kung minsan yung mga employees to ask question kasi baka hindi na sila i-renew, baka matanggalan sila ng trabaho, which is dapat hindi kasi karapatan to under the Data Privacy Act.
Well, tama yun, Roren. Posible na mangyari yun, na balikan sila nung kumpanya, pero dapat hindi ganon. And of course, kung mangyari man yun,
can they file a complaint?
Yeah, the employee can go before the National Privacy Commission either to ask what are their rights or to even, you know, if they're determined to file a complaint, then they can. No one's prevented from filing a complaint sa commission. Of course, whether that's a valid complaint or not, it's a different story, you know. But you can always come to the commission sa office natin to be able to ask and, you know, if need be and feeling niya talagang na-violate yung right niya to file a complaint.
Or kausapin yung DPO.
Or kausapin yung DPO.
Kasi for sure, may DPO yan.
Yes.
Pag wala,
dapat meron.
Pag wala, another complaint.
Pag wala, another complaint, another violation.
Diba?
So, you know, the more you do the wrong thing, the more you commit, you know, a violation. Magpapatong-patong lang.
Totoo. So, yun kasi sa company yun. So, meron naman dito question. Ito yung palagi naming nare-receive ngayon. Yung homeowners. So, syempre, for security.
Akalain mo, meron pala mga issues sa homeowners. Akala ko masaya lang sila doon and all jolly and friendly. Ano pala, meron palang mga concern doon.
May homeowners, marami, DPC. So, baka hindi tayo matapos today. So, meron lang na mga nagtatanong. I think, ito yung palaging commonly asked questions na re-receive namin. Na yung kapitbahay nila is naglalagay ng CCTV nakatutok hindi lang dun sa gate ng premises ng bahay ng kapitbahay. Pero nahahagip yung bahay nila. So, pwede ba, kasi parang intrusive siya, kasi what if magkatapat yung
door, bintana.
Yung door, bintana, or baka tapat bintana, tapos kwarto, and then you're,
right.
So, ano pa pwedeng gawin doon? Kasi, are they still considered PIC?
Yeah.
Can they file a complaint? Barangayan na ba to? Or diretso ng NTC?
Ang masasabi ko lang, huwag na kayo mag-away-away sa mga magkakapitbahay, no? Dapat, peace and love. No, but, on a serious note, ang mga homeowner, may karapatan naman sila maglagay ng CCTV. Pero ang kailangan nilang tandaan, yung pag-place, yung tamang placing. Mean to say, ang pwede mong kuhaan yung entrance mo or yung gilid ng bahay mo, tsaka public place, public street, yung daanan, yung road, no? Pero hindi po pwede na yung pag-place mo, kita yung mismong entrance ng katapat mong bahay.
Kwarto, kasi
or
bintana.
Kwarto, or yung sa gilid, kuha yung buong bintana ng kapitbahay mo. Kasi syempre, what if nakalimutan ng taong isarado yung kurtina nila or yung blinds nila, pwedeng makuhaan mo yung nagbibihis. Or the mere fact na makukunan mo kung sino yung pumapasok at lumalabas sa bahay ng isang tao, ng kapitbahay mo, medyo ibang usapan yun, no? Again, ang goal mo for CCTV, security ng bahay mo. Malaman mo kung sino pumapasok sa bahay mo. Malaman mo kung sino, kailan, anong oras pumasok ang isang tao sa bahay mo. Wala kang kinalaman sa bahay ng kapitbahay mo.
Kung anong ginagawa
nila, no?
And siguro din, DPC, kung ayaw mo rin yun na mag-install din sila ng camera, tapos
gawin sa'yo.
Din
malamang
sa'yo,
ayaw mo din
diba?
yun, tama. So, ngayon, kung ganyang situation at pinakiusapan na nila yung kapitbahay nila, ayaw pa din, dumaan na sila sa homeowners association, nag-usap na, or sa barangay, pwede silang lumapit sa National Privacy Commission.
yung next siguro kong question, kailangan ba ng privacy notice?
Hindi. Remember, kapag it's your personal household, pag ang processing is in personal use for household, hindi siya covered ng Data Privacy Act. Remember, if it's for personal processing, personal household, you're out of the ambit ng
Special
DPA.
case siya.
Special case siya.
Oo.
Papasok siya sa DPA kung yung ang hindi na pang personal. Like yung tinututukan mo na yung ano ng kapitbahay mo, yung entrance ng kapitbahay mo or yung sa gilid ng kapitbahay mo. Ibang usapan na yun.
Pero what if TPC nasa loob naman ng bahay? Kasi like, yung sa amin, sa bahay namin, yung CCTV nasa loob ng bahay. Tapos, may mga bisita.
Hindi mo kayo.
Hindi kailangan.
Hindi kailangan. Remember, ang bisita mo, they come to your house. You're allowing them to come to your house. They're consenting na pumasok sa bahay mo. At ginagamit mo yun for your security ng bahay mo. Ngayon, kung may gagawin silang karumal-dumal, ibang usapan yun. Pero if it's purely for household purposes, and when I say purely for household purposes, mean to say, ikaw bilang may-ari ng bahay, gusto mo lang ma-make sure anong nangyayari sa loob ng bahay mo. Hindi mo kailangan sumunod sa DPA. Kasi nga,
hindi naman siguro hindi kailangan
sumunod. Meaning to say, hindi mo po pwedeng i-upload yun ha. Hindi pwedeng ganon. But
Iba
for you
yun.
to have a DPO, a
Hindi na
privacy
kailangan.
notice, ibang usapan yun. But again, hindi po pwedeng i-upload mo yun kasi may pumasok sa inyo. Again, babalik tayo dun sa two concepts. Ang pag-take ng video is one type of processing. Ang pag-upload ng video is another type of processing. So kung may basihan ka for taking a video, may basihan ka ba for uploading it? Ibang usapan yun eh. Those are two different types of processing. Even sa household, ganun din yun. Hindi mo nga kailangan ng mag-appoint ng DPO or privacy notice, but hindi mo naman pwedeng i-share yun sa public.
Totoo.
Kung may nangyari sa bahay mo at meron kang gustong ireklamo, ibigay mo yun sa tamang ahensya or sa barangay. No? So,
Pero yung placement din within the household, parang importante din siya kasi what if ilagay sa
syempre hindi pwede sa CR.
Diba? O diba?
I mean,
Parang kahit sa company,
depende kasi ano bang household to.
establishment.
Dorm ba to? Or shared unit ba to? Or bahay ba to ng family mo? I mean, I think if bahay yan ng pamilya mo, hindi naman gagawin siguro ng nanay, tatay mo, or kapatid mo na maglalagay ng CCTV sa CR. If it's a dormitory or a condo, a shared unit, yung mga may-ari ng condo, hindi pwedeng gawin yun. That's a very intrusive
So, hindi talaga
placement.
siya, oo.
And even yung, kunyari, may nire-rent kang condo, si owner, maglalagay siya ng CCTV, hindi po pwedeng hindi hingiin yung consent mo nun. That's no longer purely household. Hindi naman ikaw yung nakatira dun yung condo owner eh. May nagre-rent ng condo mo eh. So kung may maglalagay ng CCTV at kung kailan saan ilalagay, dapat determination yun nung nakatira dun sa bahay.
Ito lang medyo chika lang po to ng BC. Pero meron akong nabasa somewhere sa internet na isang salon.
Right.
Yung CCTV, it's a grooming salon. Nasa cubicle. Yung CCTV.
Maling-mali yun. Maling-mali yun.
So, talagang sinabi ko, hindi pwede yung ganyan.
Alam mo na yung intention doon. The intention is really to,
It's a intimate female grooming. So,
hindi kahit naman whether sa babae or sa lalaki, no, hindi talaga pwede sa CR. Ano bang rason mo? Ba't kailangan mo maglagay ng CCTV sa CR? May minomonitor ka ba doon? Minomonitor mo ba yung pag-ihi ng tao? Or kung ilang beses nag-flush yung tao? That's not a valid basis, you know?
Ay, palagi ka nagpa-flash. Nadagdagan ko yung ano mo.
Yes, so mali yun. Hindi po pwede yun. Kasi remember, very heightened ang expectation ng privacy ng isang tao sa mga lugar na ganyan. Sa CR, sa locker room, whether it's a public place na business or it's a household or a condo, hindi po pwede. And even in our office, we can't do that. Bawal yun. Hindi po pwede. That's wrong in all forms, in all fronts.
So, ang daming natutunan dun sa CCTV. First,
Oo.
importante naman yung CCTV for security. But hindi dapat ito inaabuso.
Yes.
Hindi to dapat ginagamit na para ma-violate yung privacy ng
Yes.
isang individual. So, yun mga ka-privacy.
Roren, bago ko lang makalimutan ha, marami sa ating mga barangay na basta-basta nagre-release ng CCTV na meron
Oo
sila.
nga pala, meron ganon.
Dapat hindi ha. I mean, I know they want to inform the public. But again, they have to make sure na kung may hindi naman involved at hindi parte ng footage, i-blur nila. At hindi po pwedeng nga ipopost mo sa Facebook. Again, taking a footage is one thing. Posting it is a
As
different
another.
processing. And
Oo.
those two processings, kailangan merong basis yan, may legal basis. So, kailangan ihiwalay mo lagi yon. Hindi porke nagkuha ka ng video, may karapatan ka na agad na i-upload sa
Yes. So, tatandaan po natin, okay lang magkaroon ng CCTV, pero hindi to dapat maaabuso yung rights, data privacy rights ng mga individuals.
Yes,
Ayan.
yes.
So, from CCTV, punta naman po tayo sa body-worn camera.
Puro cameras pala ngayon,
Of
no?
course.
Puro cameras. The camera loves us.
Yeah.
Break muna mga ka-privacy. Itutuloy ang usapan sa susunod na episode next week. Dito lang sa Privacy in the Spotlight, Year 2.